Assalamualaikum guys, Irfan Afzal back again with another video, and today we are going to do a very introductory look at Excel and its implementation of the pivot table. Now essentially what a pivot table does is it allows you to organize information that you normally have in columns. It allows you to group them together to averages or sum of them, add them up or do an average based on on categories. You can categorize certain items. For example, if you have a list of your employees and their designations and their salaries, so using a pivot table you can categorize and sum up or do an average maybe of the salaries of all managers of a certain grade. Or what you can do is you can do an average. What is the average salary of anybody above this grade or below this grade? So you can do all kind of filtering. You can also add up the salaries of all the managers and see what your total payroll bill would be like. So those are the type of things that you can do with the pivot table. And like I said, this is going to be a very introductory look into pivots. So let's get started. So let's see. Over here we can maybe have the employee name. Oops. I had the caps lock on. Designation, I just contacted it, and salary. So let's say we have employee Tom, who is a manager who makes 35,000. Let's also format this for number format, so it puts the commas. Then you have Bill, who is also a manager who is making slightly more. Then you have Chris, who is an assistant manager and subsequently making less money. Then you have say Todd, who is also an assistant manager making 24,200. Then you have Terry, who is a manager making 36,000. You have Joe, who is a manager, and apparently he's the highest paid guy there. Then you have Jill, who is an assistant manager making 23,500. Then you have Julie, who is a secretary making, let's see, 18,000. Then you have Gail, who is a secretary. There you go. So those are, let's assume those are your employees. And now it's the way it's normally what you'll have is you'll have names and you have designations will be all mixed up. You will not have them in any order unless you were to sort them and then do all kinds of mathematics within Excel. But what the pivot table allows you to do is it allows you to not have to go through all that. It will automate all that. So let's see if we want to this is our employee list. This is the designation, and that's their salaries. Now we need to find out what is the average salary per designation. Okay, so we click on insert pivot table. All right, now what you can do is this gives you the range, the data range, where the data is, and where do you want this pivot table to be displayed. Do you want to open up another sheet, or do you want to do it in the existing sheet? If you want to do it, let's do it in the existing sheet, and we click here and we give the location here and we click on OK. Now you see the pivot table is being drawn here, but over here it shows you the headings. Now for the pivot table to work, each column needs to have a heading on it. You cannot have a column with no heading, because then the pivot table uses the first line in the data section as the fields. So if you have a column with no name on it, Excel doesn't know what to display here. All right. Okay. Now let's see. We are going to have it categorized by the designation. So two ways to do it. Either you can just click here, or you can just drag it down here. So you see it brings the designations here in the first column, and then you can bring the salary down here. Right now what it's doing is doing a sum of the salaries. So essentially what it's doing is telling you assistant managers, the total pay for the assistant managers is 71,700. So all the assistant managers salaries put together is 71,700. Managers is 145,500, and secretaries is 37,500. Now this, you can see, is the sum of the salary. Now what you can also do is you can say, hey, tell me what an average manager makes. So you can click this down, go to field settings and click on average and click on OK. Boom. Now on the average, the assistant manager makes 23,900. All right. On the average, managers make 36,375, and on the average, secretaries make 18,750. Now let's actually test this out. Assistant manager, our pivot table is telling us is making 23,900. So we have assistant manager over here. I'm going to hold down the control key to highlight all the assistant managers, and we have this one here. So we have Chris, who's an assistant manager, making 24,000. Todd, who's an assistant manager, making 24,200. And Jill, who's an assistant manager, making 23,500. Average is 23,900, which is exactly what your pivot table is telling you. Managers, let's look at the managers. Tom is a manager. Bill is a manager. Terry is a manager. Joe, yep, that's the 4 managers we've got. So my pivot table is telling me the managers on the average make 36,375, and that's exactly what the average of these 4 numbers is. So this is just how you can, you can, by selecting, if you go here, go to field settings, you can have it do a sum, which will give you the total. So each category, what the total payroll is going to be. You can do maximum, minimum, meaning what's the max. If you let's just do like that. Let's do maximum of salary. Now this tells you the highest an assistant manager gets paid. The highest assistant manager, the highest salary given out to assistant manager is 24,200, which would be Todd. The highest salary for a manager is 37,500, which would be Bill. And the highest paid secretary makes 19,500, which would be Gail. So you can do a max, you can do, again you go here, you can do a minimum. So the lowest paid assistant manager makes 23,500, which would be Jill. The lowest paid manager is 35,000, which would make it Tom, and the lowest paid secretary is 18,000, so that would make it Julie. So this is a very quick way to see how pivot tables can be used to categorize and to do quick math for you. If you put this down again, see what other options that you have. You have the count numbers, you have standard deviations, variance. You can do all this kind of stuff. If you just do a count, basically what it's saying is you have 3 assistant managers, you have 4 managers and 2 secretaries. So let's see, 1, 2, and 3 assistant managers. 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 4 managers and you have 2 secretaries. All right. So that's how you would do a pivot table. Like I said, once again, very important, the first row of the data section that you have selected needs to have the headings. That is very important because it is these headings that actually show up here. Now, if you have, now in this example, what we have done is we have only selected 3 columns, but you could have like say 50 columns and you're doing a pivot table and you're doing all kind of fancy stuff. You can putting in data from different columns and you're doing different things with it. So this, when you start off, the fields shown here are in the order that you have over here in the row, the columns and row. So this row, in the order in which you have these fields, that's the order in which it will show up here. But at times that maybe if you was trying to find a particular field to pull down here or here or whatnot, it may be a little difficult. So what you can even do is you can go here and you can select sort A to Z. Now what this does is it sorts those fields alphabetically and then it's easier to find. Let's see how it looks. Now you see how designation comes up first, employee name, because that's E, comes after D, so that comes the second, that's displayed on the second line, and salary starting with S comes in the third line. Now if I put it back in the order it was, I'll just select this, sort in the data source order. So now you see employee was first here, so it's showing up first here, designation was the second field, so it's showing in the second position, and salary is the third position. So that's how typically you would do a pivot table. So it's not complicated, it's very simple, and if you have any more questions, you can certainly leave a comment in the comment box and I will get back to you. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe. I will be uploading a series of simple tutorials like this for Excel, and then slowly I will make them more complicated. We'll be doing more fancy stuff. So like I said, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe. Thank you.